All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 6th, 2019 regular Board of Education meeting. My name is Anupam Chugsidhu, and thank you for being here tonight on this lovely summer evening. I would like to ask my fellow board members to introduce them, starting from the left.
Hi, good evening. My name is John Lazarowitz. Thank you for coming out.
My name is Leonardo Savage. Thank you for coming out.
Patty McCoy, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good evening, Patrick Keogh. Good to see everybody tonight.
Doug Brooks, thanks for coming out.
Hi, I'm Kate Porninski. Nice to see everyone tonight.
And Ms. Merritt, would you like to introduce
Good
yourself?
evening and welcome. I wish the camera could see the view that I have right now in the beginning of August. It feels like it is a fresh school day with so much participation and support in this audience. So welcome. I'd like for my staff to introduce themselves, beginning with Mr. Brandon.
Good evening, everyone. Nick Brandon, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Debbie Piaz. I'm the Chief Finance and Operations Officer. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Liz Vartanian-Gibbs, Human Resources.
Good evening, Kurt Tiskowitz, Student Services.
All right, thank you. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Zoe is going to lead us into our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you so much for that. All right, we are at Part A, at the adoption of the agenda, approval of the consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion for action item number 20-08-05.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for the adoption of the agenda, approval of the consent agenda, action item 20-08-05.
Second.
Thank you. The motion was made by Member Lazarowitz, seconded by Member Brooks. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Would you like to walk us through?
Thank you. This evening, we have for your consideration the Human Resources transaction. Since our last time together, when I referenced all of the support in the room, it's because we have been busy hiring champions. So we have new hires for your consideration this evening, as well as a resolution for the Director of Operations, the Executive Secretary to the Superintendent, and to the Board of Education. We can't wait for you to join us. And the resolution for Field Elementary Principal. We also have for your consideration this evening the approval of minutes from our special meeting on July 22nd, 2019, as well as our organizational regular meeting minutes on July 23rd, 2019.
Go ahead.
She's gonna vote.
Oh, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I am very fortunate to introduce you to some fine people who will be starting in our district. And first of all, I would like to introduce you to Tim Gerzinski. So Tim, if you could join us, please. Tim is going to be our new Director of Operations. He comes to us from the University of Michigan with a bachelor's degree. He has served as a construction field manager, a computer systems administrator, an environmental consultant, facilities manager at Ann Arbor Public Schools, Director of Trades, Labor, and Contracted Services, Dearborn Public Schools, and now in a couple of weeks, he will be working for Plymouth Canton Community Schools as the Director of Operations. So welcome, Tim.
Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Merritt. I'm home. So my wife Phyllis is with me tonight. We are the proud parents of 3 graduates from the Plymouth school system who are all doing incredibly well. And I want to thank the board for the opportunity to serve in my hometown. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can we do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, this way.
To the center.
You got it.
Congratulations, Tim. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
So glad you're here.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And here's your candy bar.
Okay, next I would like to introduce you to our new Executive Secretary to the Superintendent in the Board of Education. So Nicole Lauer, come on up. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you.
Nicole comes to us with all kinds of administrative assistant experience. She worked as an executive assistant for the Detroit District Dental Society. Plus, she was also a coordinator at Michigan Healthcare Professionals, and currently she is working as a senior administrative assistant at Michigan Medicine.
Yes.
We are thrilled to have her join our team, work here at the E.J. McClendon Center, and serve in the superintendent's office. So welcome, Nicole.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I am truly humbled and honored to be a part of this team. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to work with you. I bring my daughters. My husband's in the back, and then our son's, of course, at baseball practice. Surprise. But thank you. I'm excited, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you.
Zoe, you want to come on up too?
Oh, yeah, come on up. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations. You can bring her anytime.
Oh, thank
You did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to share
I was going to say, you know I'm not going to be able to keep this, right?
Gotta give it to Zoe.
You know this is going to be stolen from me.
Yeah, kids are going to eat it.
So next, I would like to introduce to all of you our new principal of Field Elementary School, Letitia Thomas. That is just so cool. I said to Letitia, I don't think one person came when I got my position, so there you go. Congratulations. So thank you, everyone from the Field School community, to be here to support your new principal. And here's some things I want to tell you about Letitia. She has served as a teacher in Detroit schools as well as Canton schools. We hired her at Field Elementary as a classroom teacher. She has also served as an instructional coach, a dean of culture, and she is also a facilitator and a consultant for the Center of Responsive Schools. Then we decided to hire her as the student support coordinator at Field Elementary School, and her new position is now going to be the principal of Field Elementary School. So our Letitia comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Cleveland State University, a master's degree from Grand Valley State University, and the biggest cheering crowd we've ever had at a board meeting. So congratulations, Letitia.
I am so grateful to be here today. Dr. Lilly left me some really, really big shoes to fill, but I have a village here with me, and my team showed up for me. I'm so grateful. My husband is here, my very best friend, my daughters. I have 3 daughters who are also alumni of Plymouth Canton, and I just can't say again how grateful I am. I wanted to make sure that I told you tonight that in 2002, when my husband and I found out that we were moving to Michigan, we got on the internet, and we had dial-up back then. And I said to him, I want our daughters to be in the very best schools. And so we chose Plymouth Canton. Never seen anything here, hadn't visited Cleveland or Canton, but I looked at the school stats, and that's why we chose Plymouth Canton. And so today is like a full circle moment for me. And I'm so very, very grateful. It's my mission to give kids the very best that I can. We did that for our own daughters, and so I want to do that for everybody's kids. So thank you.
Very excited.
Oh my goodness.
That shows
Beautiful. That's a village.
Yeah, and that shows how excited they are.
Which is a great way to start as a principal.
Oh.
So sweet. Okay. Now we have some awesome teachers and social workers and a school nurse I want to introduce you to. So first, I'm going to call you guys up and come on up, and then we'll do the shaking of the hands together. So Wanda Bendoon is going to be a new elementary social worker. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from the University of Michigan, as well as a master's plus 30 from Eastern Michigan University. She also spent 6 years teaching at Dearborn Public Schools. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I feel so excited to be here, too.
Kelly Hansen is going to be an elementary social worker, and she comes to us with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Madonna University. She also comes to us with 2 years' experience as a social worker from the Woodhaven Brownstown School District. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, Maria Laporte. Maria is a brand new elementary school teacher for our district at Farron Elementary School, the home of the Foxes. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Central Michigan University, as well as 5 years experience from Avondale Schools. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christine Perrine. Oh, Field School, here you go again. Elementary classroom teacher at Field School. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Eastern Michigan University, as well as 4 years of experience from a charter school. Welcome.
Thank you.
Timona Reese will be an elementary school teacher at Field. Timona Reese, she cannot be here with us this evening, but she comes to us with 13 years of experience from National Heritage Academy, as well as a bachelor's degree from Urbana University in Ohio and a master's degree from University of Phoenix, Arizona. Amy Simon, school nurse. She is going to be welcome, Amy. She will be a school nurse in our district. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from University of Michigan, as well as 16 years of nursing experience at the U of M, as well as IHA. Elena Smith. Elena, Salem High School art teacher. She comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Michigan State University, as well as 2 years experience from Three Rivers Community Schools. So congratulations to all of you. We welcome you, and we look forward to having you in our district and serving our school and our communities. Thank you.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome to schools. Welcome. Welcome. Your entire staff is here.
Kelly, you're Kelly, right? I got it. Hi, Kelly. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Maria, congratulations. So happy for you. And you're our Kristen, right?
Elena.
Elena.
Excited there.
Well, I gotta, oh, you're our art teacher. There you go, Elena.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Do we need to introduce you?
What's your name? Courtney knows. Hi, Courtney. Welcome. Wait a minute, hold on. Congratulations. Thank you. Did they tell you to come tonight? Yes. Oh, great. Well, welcome. We'll figure it out. Well, this is Courtney Mills, everyone.
Come around.
Come on back, Courtney.
Hi.
Welcome aboard, Courtney.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And where are you going to teach you? Farron. Oh, great. Welcome.
Welcome. Congratulations. That's an excellent school.
Courtney, I will call you tomorrow and get this right. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah.
Salem, so I'm excited.
Oh, great. Welcome.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm done.
Okay.
Can't top that.
Sorry. Thank you for all of the great introductions. Welcome, everyone. And we are moving on to Part B of the agenda, which is board committee reports. So the first one is President's Report. I don't have anything new, but I would like to welcome all the educators that were hired and wish them a great new school year along with the other educators that are not here. Wishing everyone a wonderful and a successful 2019-20 school year. Next is Student Performance and Achievement. For SPA, we don't have anything new since we are still waiting for the replacement of Dr. Bender, and as soon as we get that, we'll get some dates finalized. Next up is the Policy Committee. Ms. McCoy?
We have not had a meeting. I will be scheduling one soon, probably next couple weeks, probably before the next board meeting. We still have lots of work to do, and they start at 5:30 to 7.
What?
For Finance and Operations, we've not met since we last had our board meeting, and we don't have a current meeting scheduled. But when we do, they will be the coolest meetings, and everyone should attend. Policy thinks they're better.
Policy is better.
I think
Come to
SPA
both
beats-
and see.
SPA beats them all. Next up is Educational Excellence Foundation, EEF report. Member Borninski.
Good evening. Tonight we have from the EEF board, Ms. Angela Nolan, to give us a little update. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
No introductions necessary, but it's me, Angela, again. On behalf of all the trustees, I'd like to begin by congratulating our new board president. Congratulations. We look forward to your leadership on the board and continued partnership with the foundation as we work to support the teachers and students through the P-CCS. We'd also like to thank Trustee Borninski for her leadership. You have been a tremendous ambassador and have been a strong advocate on the EEF board. Also, thank you for countless hours and dedication to the district. So, speaking of the school year, we're excited to kick off the 1920 school year in partnership with Plymouth Canton Schools and Canton Leisure with the 3rd annual Back to School Bash featuring EEF Fun Zone, which is different from what we did the last 2 years. It will be held obviously on the 24th. We will have, sorry, Gretchen wrote this for me. Thank you, Gretchen, when you watch this on TV. So we're going to have, EEF is going to have a fun zone, which will include a bounce house, face painters, petting zoo, lawn games, and to celebrate the 190 years of PCCS, good old-fashioned field games. So we just wanted to thank you, and thank you for partnering with the Back to School Bash. And that's all I have to say. Sorry, it's a little rushed. I'm leaving at 5 in the morning on an airplane.
Oh, safe travels.
It's my daughter's orientation at Western Washington.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Great.
Anyway, thank you. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. I'm glad I didn't do that in front of all those people. A little rushed. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you. Yes, let's make sure that hopefully many of us can be at the Back to School Bash this Saturday. I plan on being there and look forward to my other board colleagues being there. Okay. Next up is citizens' comments. Do we have any cards for citizens' comments? None? Okay.
She wants.
Oh, could you give her a card, please? Come on up. If you could introduce yourself, and you'll have 3 minutes, and Nick is going to time you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It won't take that long. Good evening. My name is Gina Wilson Stewart. I'm the president of the Western Wayne County NAACP, And we're a county branch, and I always have to tell everybody that because we cover 24 cities. We start in River Rouge, Ecorse, go up to Northville, down to Sumter, and Redford, everything in between. So a lot of people don't know about us, but I make my rounds and go to all the city council meetings. So now I'm going to all the school board meetings to let people know that we're here. And then want to know a little bit of what we do, and I do have a brochure package to give to you guys so you can see. Once a quarter, we take our meetings on the road because we cover so much area. This quarter, we will be in Northville at the Northville Public Library. So this is our third quadrant, which is Livonia, Canton, Plymouth, and Northville. So we're reaching out to residents in those cities so you don't have to drive all the way to Garden City where we normally have our meetings. Our last regional was in River Rouge, and the one before that was in Dearborn Heights. Our last one in November will be in Van Buren Township. So that way we've covered our entire region in 1 year. So what we do is, of course, our thing was voting. It was election today in some cities, so we were out making sure everybody got out and vote. Turnout's probably going to be low, as usual, because it's not a presidential election. But our goal, of course, is to make sure everyone knows their rights, make sure that they know that there's things that they can do, that they can say, and if they need some help with anything, they can always reach out to us for assistance. But everything that we do is make sure everybody is treated fairly. Basically, that's what we do. So I just wanted to come out, introduce myself. Everybody has my cell number. It's 313-949-3133. So you can reach out to me at that number, and I'm going to pass out these little brochures so you can see some of the things that we do in all of our regions. And we really reach out to our students and seniors so that we can register them to vote. But with Prop 3 passing, you can register the day of the election. So that changes our strategy a little bit, but we do want to make sure everybody knows that they have a voice. And that's it. So
Thank you. You can start here. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Are there any other citizens' comments? Okay, thank you. We're moving on to Part D of our agenda, which is the administrative reports and recommendations, starting with the superintendent's report.
I think I'm going to take this as an opportunity for a plug for our P-CCS official mobile app. As we were just hearing about the Back to School Bash that will take place again on August the 24th. That's 1 to 4 p.m. at Heritage Park in Canton. That is a great opportunity for food, fun, entertainment, countless programs, and just an opportunity for us to connect and come together with the excitement of the school year there at Heritage Park. But the mobile app is a quick way to remind you of the Back to School Bash, as well as Nick Brandon will always say you'll be the first to hear about snow days. So we want to make sure as we start off the school day, you get yourself plugged into that communication chain. Also, speaking of communication, our district-wide summer communication and the PCEP communicator are both available now on the website. That's www.pccsk12.com. And both of these contain vital summer and back to school information that will be helpful for our families as you move out of the summer mode and back into the start of the school year. We have continued to remain busy, as you saw this evening, hiring the best champions for our students in various positions to support their learning and create this environment that we're so proud of. And so we'll continue on. We have a few key positions to hire, and we've been working, I think, literally all day today, almost every day, finishing up the interviews. Our next meeting will be August the 27th, where we hope to make some strong recommendations as we start this school year. So thank everybody in the district team, our administrators, our teachers, our support staff that have come back from summer vacation to help us in this process of hiring. Finally, Tim, getting ready to start in Director of Operations field. We're working, getting buildings clean, and we hope we will make you proud when you step in to say that it was a job well done this summer. We're busy with construction, secured entryways at our buildings, our camera installations, our swipe card installations. Some of our bid packets are coming through fruition, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we'll be ready for the start of the school year, but we welcome you on your first day to help me on my tour to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be to welcome our kids back in September. So that is it for me, and exciting times around.
Thank you. Did you want to talk about part 2 at all?
Actually, I'm going to ask Dr. Brady to come up in Teaching and Learning to represent in the event that you have any questions. Tonight we have just some supplies basically for our students, and you can take a seat there just in case, yes. The first is purchase of calculators, and this is after doing an inventory, looking at our review of calculators that we currently have in stock and needing to purchase some additional calculators to support the needs of the students in the classroom. So we have the invoice here. The curriculum team under Dr. Brady's research or leadership has researched what is needed. They've spoken with vendors, gotten the best pricing, and so we have this as a part of our current teaching and learning budget for your consideration. Because it is over the threshold, that is why we are bringing it for your attention. So I don't know if you have any questions for that.
Go ahead, Member Keel.
I always have questions. Are these calculators for what grade level?
These are for middle and high school, so it's for secondary. There's specific calculators that need to be used, especially in Algebra 1 and et cetera, for the students.
So are these calculators are provided to all students? The reason I ask is because my students or my kids had to purchase their own calculators.
And so we have some students who aren't able to make those purchases, and we have to make sure that we have
Everybody has
materials.
it. Perfect,
Yeah.
thank you.
Equity issue. We want to make sure everybody has the supplies.
Any other questions?
All right. The second item that is here for your consideration is the purchase of additional materials to support our science kits. This is something that we discussed at SPA, and we have some additional items that will go into these kits, and I'll have Dr. Brady speak a little bit further about those.
So this is something that has been brought before the board, that we are moving to have our own kits internal. For you remember, I think it might have been back in March, Tanya and I were here discussing science, and in previous years we've had ECA as our vendor for them, but they didn't exactly match what the curriculum was, and so that was a cost that didn't exactly align, and so we're able to do that in-house, which long-term would actually be a cost savings to the district. But anytime you start fresh, you need to do some initial purchasing, and so that's what this is for. It's for the K-5 science kits for the curriculum aligned with the next-gen science standards. So obviously when we have a purchase that is of this size, we need to make sure that the board is aware of what's happening. But these are the things I've talked about kind of throughout the year. Yeah.
Any questions about Member Borninski?
So I noticed a couple different kinds of candy on the list. One is Laffy Taffy, and the other is some gummy bears.
Correct.
I'm wondering how those are going to be utilized.
Yeah. So if they're doing science experiments where they're melting things, they're doing chemical or physical changes, there might be things like that we're doing. It's not just necessarily to eat the candy for the candy's sake. That's not the purpose of it. The science that we're using is based on what's called phenomenal science. It's a non-NGSS aligned curriculum that we used as the basis for ours, and it's lessons that are vetted through the National Science Foundation. So that's why they're there, because we're using those as the foundation. So it's to show mostly physical changes, that kind of thing, inside of our units.
Okay, is there a chance that these will be ingested?
So I don't know each detail of that, so there could be a possibility if there's an issue with that.
So I'm wondering about our students who have food allergies and also our diabetic students. Also, anybody who has braces. So I'm...
Anytime you have a candy in front of elementary age children,
Well,
that's enticing. It is.
It is enticing.
Yeah.
And also, elementary age students with food allergies are not always the best at advocating for themselves. And I just want to make sure that they are included in any kind of science experiments. And so I'm a little concerned about this because I know through experience with my own child and with friends whose children have food allergies that you have to be very careful about the labeling and the manufacturing. So if you could think, I mean, I already checked these products and they do have warnings. So I guess I would like to make sure that we are choosing products that are safe for all children.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's, for what level is this?
This is elementary. It's so kindergarten through
Totally
5th grade.
elementary.
It's all elementary.
Okay, so there's no physics teaching equipment planned to be purchased or anything like that?
So there are some, there's some equipment that's being purchased, but it's under the threshold, so that's not put before you. At the elementary level, it's not the same thing as a physics equipment. It doesn't look like that at the elementary level. It's, we're not handing them those kinds of things necessarily. At the middle school level, for example, they start with microscopes, but that's not at the elementary level. So it's developmentally appropriate for the age of the students, so we're not purchasing Bunsen burners or things like that. That's
but
not.
when you're doing microscopes and all that, would that be the subject of a separate purchase agreement?
So the middle school science, for example, already went through this past year. We brought that before the board, and part of our purchase at that time was microscopes, and those are already on site, and we have that material at the high school already.
Okay. Are there any plans to purchase any other physics teaching equipment?
So we're in process, that would be for high school, and we're in process of doing some work right now, so that's not being brought before you at this time. That would be something in the future when we're revamping some of the high school pieces. So that's coming this year. We're continuing the high school science portion, and you'll hear more from us later.
Okay.
This is just for elementary at this time.
All right, good.
Other questions?
So-
Member Lazarowitz?
Thank you. So the price is going to be 28,000 instead of 100,000? Is that what? No. It's going to be 100,000.
No, there are two separate pieces, two separate vendors.
Okay, so we're going to use school specialty for 100,000?
Correct.
And Home Depot for 28,000?
Correct.
So about $130,000?
Correct.
Okay. And so the change, why the change for putting it together?
Because, like I said, we had ECA as our vendor, which is, they would deliver to us kits for each of the different units. And some of them did not directly align, so we had materials that we were paying for that we weren't necessarily using, so that was a concern to my team and I. The other issue is that because of the number of kits that ECA were available to us, some of our buildings, about a third of our buildings would have, in any particular grade level, would have Kit A, while another third would have Kit B, while another third would have Kit C. So we had students across the district focusing on different topics at the same time. So that's a concern if students move within the district. They could be getting Kit A potentially up to 3 different times, which means they would be missing content. We want teachers to be able to work with one another across building within their cohort, and we need to have them on the same content, pacing the same way, in order for that to happen. So if we do pieces internally, it allows us to be more adept at changes that we need to make within the curriculum to make it better for our students, number one, and number two, it ensures that all teachers of any particular grade level are on the same content at the same time.
Now, who's putting these kits together?
That's my team and I.
Okay, so a teacher, they run out, they're not going to have a problem running out, there's going to be a
So
supply.
we have 2 different components that we've taken stock of. One, there's purchases like the tubs to put the materials in. That's not something we'll have to purchase every year. That's kept in the teachers' classrooms. And then we have a separate list that are the consumable kinds of things. So straws, they might need straws every single year, and we have that on a separate list so that we know what running cost would be every single year versus we bought some scales. Those we're not buying every year. That is something that we have on site.
So the initial
purchase is more. It is because we need to do some of the initial pieces of buying, such as the tubs. I mean, you'd be amazed at how much 400 tubs cost.
What was the cost of the EAC?
We spent approximately $100,000 a year on those kits.
So the first, it's going to be 100,000 comparable to what we're going to spend the first one then?
The initial year it will initially be more money in order to get us set up, and then subsequent years in order to refill, it's not going to
It's gonna
cost
be a
as
little
much,
cheaper.
correct?
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any inventory about equipment that was left over from last year?
Member Savage, could you please speak into the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Is there any inventory for equipment that was left over from last year?
So some of the equipment was not ours, though. It belonged to ECA. So there were some things that belonged to the district, and we do have those pieces back.
Okay.
And we are using those to restock what we need. The pieces that we got in the kits from ECA, those didn't belong to us, so those aren't things that we can keep. Those go back. So let's say rocks and minerals, for example. We didn't own those. Those were ECA's, and so we needed those were taken back by ECA. That's what we were renting. That was the pieces that we were renting each year.
Okay.
But we had some scales and some other pieces that did belong to us that we have procured back from ECA. They were using them inside of their kits. We had a list of those materials that belonged to us. We worked with ECA to ensure that those got back to us. But there were things that were never ours to begin with. We were renting, and so those we can't keep.
Okay.
I would suggest if we have the ability to look into some maybe replacement items that would still satisfy
Sure.
the same
Absolutely.
experiment, we can do that before
Absolutely.
we bring this back for your consideration on August
For
the
sure.
27th.
Thank you. Any other questions, discussion? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are at the follow-up board questions, letter E, and looking at what was outstanding, we had some custodial benchmarks and the cross-reference of the KPI that was sent to us via board notes.
Yes.
And then Member Berninski sent us questions that were outstanding items from the July 22nd meeting.
Yes.
So when you get a chance, could you send that to us in board notes?
Absolutely. We're still working on those. That's the work that came from the facilities and utilization. So those are in process, and we'll get those in board notes as soon as we have all of the information.
Okay. Do we have any follow-up questions from today?
Just the information.
Just the inventory? Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you very
I'm sorry,
much.
just on the custodial information, when was that? Which board notes was that?
Was it last Friday?
It was July 26th.
Okay, because it wasn't, okay, I didn't have it on last Friday, so, okay.
Any other questions, discussions? Okay. So we are at letter F, and that's adjournment. I am looking for a motion to adjourn our regular board meeting and go into a special meeting on board governance. Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our regular meeting and go into the next meeting.
The special meeting, yes.
Special meeting.
Thank you.
I second it.
Thank you. The motion was made by Member Brooks, seconded by Member Lazarowitz. Any discussion?
Just my regular conversation that this is still a public meeting, so those of you that are in the audience are welcome to attend. For those of you that are watching at home, come and join us next time. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Meeting adjourned, regular meeting adjourned at 7:38. Thank you.
That's pretty good.